Matt, we're in this state of transition, is what I keep hearing. And then I also hear, Eoin and Ronan talk about all the different options and different players we have. And, you're kind of like, which is it? Or how long are we going to be in this state of transition? When can we just be back in winning mode again and competing?
When can we get back to normal?
Yeah. Look,
when are pubs open?
2018 was a lot more fun than this. When can we be out of a state of transition? Because it's just in a couple of positions, it seems, as opposed to all over the pitch.
Yeah, well, look, 9 and 10s are so important. And we've had two of the best 9s and 10s in the world for a decade. And mate, there's a saying that, the giants cast a shadow and nothing grows in the shadow of the giants. And when Ronan was just coming towards the end, we had Johnny coming through and they had a ding-dong battle to see who would get the 10 jersey, and it brought out the best in both of them. We haven't got the competition in that 9 and 10 role. And what Ronan's suggesting there is, I fully endorse this, we need some competition. And the only way we can do that is to put some players in and give them a go. Now, what Galtier did was slightly different because they had this plan from a long ago. The France went out to win the Under-20s World Cup, and they did it in 18 and 19. The 2020 World Cup was called off. But he had all this production line already laid out for him. Farrell doesn't. And that says something about our system. It's a long answer because the question's detail.
Sure.
We need our system below the provinces to be better. Now, Leinster have got a great system, Munster are picking up. But if we got Harry Byrne and he's not getting games, he's got to go somewhere to get games. Now, I know the Leinster faithful hate that. I'm a Leinster guy, I don't like it, but that's for the good of Ireland.
Yeah.
He's got to be starting somewhere. Now, if that means he goes to Connacht and Jack Carty doesn't start, that's tough on Jack, but that's the way our system should work. It's the way it works in New Zealand. It's the way it works in other countries where they're going forward. We've got to get our good quality guys playing. And right now, we're not. They're warehoused mostly in Leinster, but Craig Casey can't start as often as we need him to start down at Munster because he's behind Connor. We've got to get these guys out from those roadblocks and playing games.
Oh, and what about that? Earmark the 2 or 3 that the experts in Irish rugby think are going to be the ones to fill the Irish jerseys and move them around. And if it's, well, look, you've got to go to Connacht, you've got to go to Connacht.
So I think that's happening. And I think on the one hand here, we're saying we've got all these players, and on the other hand, we're saying the system isn't producing players.
Well, we're saying they're not getting enough game time.
Yeah, well, like Craig Casey's played a lot this year already.
Harry Byrne, for instance?
Yeah, Harry Byrne probably hasn't played as much. But I think we do have 4 provinces, and only 4, right? And I'm not sure how Jack Carty would feel about giving up his spot at the moment. I think, one of the key points that Ronan made was, for once, that we're in a luxury where we've got a team around a young 9 and 10 that if they played, that is, rock solid. We've got some, looking at the back line today and looking at the back 5, the 2 second rows and the 3 back row, even with injuries, those are big experienced people. And I mean, big ball carriers, big defenders. The time to actually try 9s and 10s, I agree with him, there's a good chance now.
Okay.
And, no amount of Pro 14 or European Cup rugby really prepares you for the pressure of a nation watching you, and sitting at home one week and feeling the despair for everybody when they lose, and then 2 weeks later you're standing there as the kick gets kicked off. That's magic experience for someone. But I think that shows that we're in a good position, that you do have players we can play.
The Guinness Six Nations Championship, live on Virgin Media 1 and Virgin Media Player.